Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today is a very exciting and highly requested video about the differences and similarities between Polish high school and American high school. If you don't know me yet, my name is Emilia and I've been living in the United States for a little bit longer than 5 months. I think it's almost 6 now. And I'm an exchange student, so I'm here for only one school year, but I obviously spent my freshman and sophomore year back in Poland, so I have a little bit of experience both in Polish and in American high school. So I decided to kind of talk about similarities, differences, funny stories that happened to me, things that surprised me in American school. And also educate a little bit American people that have never heard about how European high school looks like. I think that will be quite interesting. So before we'll start, I have I think two things that I need to say. At first, a disclaimer. Obviously, everything that I will say in this video is just my opinion based on my personal experience, and every single school is different. So although like the main ideas may be the same, if you will ever go to European or to American high school, things may look completely different, especially because Poland is only one country in Europe, and every European country has a little bit different school system. So I would mostly talk about Polish schools and not about European schools in general. And the second thing that I want to add is that if you are an exchange student that wants to share their experience, down below in the comments about your American high school, or if you are a Polish student that wants to add something to my words, I would be really happy to talk with all of you guys. So leave your comments down below. I hope we will have a nice discussion about school, because school, it's basically half of our teenage life, so it's kind of important to talk about it. I prepared a little list of questions for my Instagram, so if you don't follow my Instagram, I will leave it here. I do a lot of like Q&As and questions to my videos, so you can leave something if you want to. And first, I also want to say one thing, that my high school in Poland, it's different than a normal school. I go to a private Catholic school that is not private. It's really complicated, but I will say like normal Polish high school does this, and then I will say, but in my school something's different because. So not be surprised if I will use this phrase really often, but yeah, this is how it is. I think we can start. We will start with the frequently asked questions. The first question: which school is harder, Polish school or American school? That's actually a really hard question because American and Polish high school are structured in such a different way that this is even hard to compare. But I would say that in American high school, if you do your work, you will have good grades. What I mean by this, if you will do your assignments and participate in your classes, like just be active, everything will be fine. You will probably have straight A's. It's not like I need to study a lot because we don't really have a lot of like tests and exams. You just need to do your homework, do your work, do your assignments, and you are good. In Polish high school, on the other hand, I would say that everything that you do at school is preparing you to exams. So you need to study. You need to study a lot. And when it comes to the workload, I would say that in the United States, I need to do more assignments and physically like work more on like things that needs to be submitted. So like, let's say we write more essays than I do in my Polish school. We do more, I don't know, we have like assignments, watch this video and like write 10 thoughts after watching it or something. So a lot of work like this, but as I told you, if you do your work during class, you should be fine. In Polish school, on the other hand, you will mostly listen to your teacher during class, how they're talking, and then you need to study on your own when you will go home, do your homework. But it's not like we do a lot of work during our classes. So it's really hard to explain this, but usually in American high school, you will have a lot of like quiet work time when you just work on your assignment and everyone has their headphones and we are just working on our things that we need to do. In Polish high school, on the other hand, you will listen to the teacher for like 45 minutes and then you get the assignment that you need to do at home. So that's like a whole different concept. So to answer this question, which school is harder, I would say yes, European high school is harder than American one. Obviously, that's only my opinion, but I think it's harder. Next question is, how many classes do I have per day? And when it comes to American high school, it really depends on the school. In some schools, you will have 4 long classes. In some schools, you will have 8 short classes. In some classes, you have schedule that is like separate for A and B schedule. I would say it's really complicated. In my school, I have 6 classes and each of them is about 53 minutes. I'm pretty sure something about this, something about that. So I wouldn't say that's really long. In my Polish school, I have 7 to 8 classes each day and each of them is 45 minutes. So overall, I would say that the time that I physically spend studying, it's about the same. But in my high school breaks, in my high school in the United States, breaks between classes are way shorter. Our normal break, it's only 5 minutes, and then we get one long lunch break, which is about, I think, 30 minutes, something like this, more maybe 40 minutes. So in my school in Poland, on the other hand, each break, it's usually 10 minutes. We have also, I think, one 15 minutes break and then one half-hour break. So overall, I spend more time in Polish high school and I have more classes, but like, if you will compare how many hours do we physically like learn and study, it's about the same. Okay, next question is about the teachers. And that's probably one of the things that surprised me the most in American high school because my teachers are super, super nice. And okay, again, it really depends what teachers will you get. Like every single year or even every single half year in some schools in the United States, your teachers will change because you choose your classes. And I will talk about this whole choosing your classes thing a little bit later. But basically, I need to tell you the teachers in the United States are super nice. Most of them are also really young comparing to European teachers and teachers in my country. I think most of my teachers are in their like 30s, 40s. Most of my teachers in Poland, I feel like they're older. So that's really interesting because all of my teachers are really young. They are really relaxed. You can always like talk to them. They're really friendly. Obviously, some of them will have more strict rules. Like in some classes, we cannot use our phones, so we'll put them in like little pockets next to the door. But I think that's not like something new. Like we cannot use phones in Polish schools at all during our classes, so that's not surprising. But comparing the teachers, and I'm really sad to say this because I like my Polish school, but I feel like the connection between students and teachers in the United States is way stronger, and I would never even think about like being afraid to go to my teacher with something. In Polish schools, I think like you can also have really nice and really relaxed teachers, but I have never like built like a relationship with my teacher to be kind of like a friend with them, if you know what I mean. So that's like a big difference. The teachers here, they care less for sure, and they will try to make your class fun and to like play some videos and like, I don't know, make a fun project or something. Obviously you will still learn a lot, and most of them are really serious about like exams and things that you need to do and like your grades, but overall teachers here are way more relaxed. In Europe, everything is a little bit more strict. Next big topic, choosing your classes. Something that we cannot do in Europe, or at least in Poland. I have never heard about the European country where you can choose your classes. So if you are from a European country where you can choose your classes, please let me know because I think that's really interesting. But anyway, So I was really surprised when I first came to the United States and I realized that I can basically choose my whole schedule. And what I mean by this, in my school, I need to choose 4 basic classes, which is ELA, so English Literature Arts. I still cannot pronounce literature, but anyway, math, one of science classes, and history, yeah, history class. And then you get to choose 2 electives, so 2 classes that are basically whatever you want to do. In Poland, on the other hand, we cannot choose our classes. Our schedule is just made by the school, and like it's a concept that's really hard to understand, but in Polish high school, you will spend entire 4 years of your education with the same group of 25 to 30 people. And you will go together to all the classes, you will sit together, you'll do everything together, you'll have the same teachers for 4 years. So that's really different, and that's a huge difference. I really love the fact that you can choose your classes in the United States, because I get to choose my 2 probably favorite classes, ceramics and graphic design, that I truly love. But it also brings us to the other topic, making friends. Because actually in the United States, I feel like it's way harder to make friends in high school. And it's also because you see these people only once a day. You have one class together and then you move on to the next class. And the other thing is that in each class you can have people from different grades. So some people will be 14, some people will be 17, and some people will be doing their first grade, some people will be doing the 4th grade. So that's what definitely makes the whole making friends harder, that you just need to look for these people. You just don't spend with them the whole day, because in high school in Poland you spend your whole day with the same group. So after all, you will talk to these people at some point. You will probably become friends. If not, that's okay too, but you know what I mean. I just realized how long it takes to explain everything, so I decided to chop half of the topics that I had planned for this video. If you enjoyed it so far and you would like to see a part 2, let me know down in the comments, or just by leaving a like, and then I will make a part 2 about more fun stuff, like a dress code. I'm just looking at my list, and sports and stuff like that. In this video, I will talk more about academics. Next question. I really often get a question about math, because for some reason in Europe we have a stereotype that people in the United States cannot do math, and math in American high school is really simple. And that's an interesting topic, because I have talked to other exchange students, and in some American high schools, math classes are really not challenging at all. They will do really easy stuff even in high school. In my high school, I'm in algebra 3 for honors, so that's kind of a class on a higher level than usual. And I would say that my class is on the same or even on a higher level than my classes in Poland. And so that's really interesting, because I also thought that math will be way easier. That's what we usually hear in Europe. But I need to tell you that all people in my math class, or at least most of them, are really talented, and we do math on, I think, a pretty high level. And definitely learning math in English was more challenging than I thought it would be, especially algebra, when you get a lot of weird words that are hard to understand, and I still cannot pronounce perpendicular. I will not even try. So that's interesting. No, I wouldn't say that math is easier, at least not in my high school. Next topic that I think it's not mentioned enough, technology and the usage of technology at school. This is really interesting, because in my Polish high school we use textbooks. It means that in each of your classes you will just have a book which contains basically your whole knowledge that you need to have for this certain class. And I feel like textbooks are more popular in college in the United States, but in my high school and in many other high schools that I know, we don't have books at all. We use our iPads, or in some other high schools they use Chromebooks, so kind of small laptop. And that's all. That's all I have in my backpack. I have only 2 or I think 3 notebooks, and then I have my iPad. And that was really surprising for me, because I'm not used to learning on technology. And that was my first time in my life writing something on an iPad, doing assignments on an iPad. And I need to tell you that this is so comfortable. I love that iPad gives you so many opportunities. Although I need to tell you that sometimes I miss having a real book, like a real textbook, especially in my history class. I feel like I really like to study history from a book, but again, that's kind of like a personal preference or personal choice. But overall, definitely, if you go as an exchange student to the United States, you will be surprised that in American high school you use technology all the time. And the other thing is that in many classes we can use our phones, or at least we can listen to music. And that was also a big surprise for me, and I'm really glad that so many teachers are letting us, when we just have like this quiet work time, to listen to our own music, because for me personally it's really helping me to focus and just to, not listen to all the loud noises in the classroom. So definitely the technology in school, it's way more popular in the United States than it's in Poland. And honestly, I need to tell you that I hope it will change, because iPads, laptops, whatever, they give you so much more opportunities. Even like writing essays or like doing your notes, it just goes so much faster. You can just copy things, or just like paste a diagram like a map and just like, highlight the important things. You don't need to draw the whole thing. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say about technology, and we can move on to the next question. Okay, next question is kind of funny. Is it true that American high schools are huge? And yeah, compared to Polish schools, American high schools are huge. My school in Poland, it's a little bit less than 300 kids, so it's really small. Even for Poland, it's like, I need to tell you, my school, it's small because it's kind of like a private school, but not really, but it is, so it's small. My school here, it's over 3,000 kids, so that's 10 times more. And even if you will compare like the buildings and the whole like campus, yeah, the school is huge. I need to tell you that when I first came here, I was really scared. The school was a terrifying place for me because I couldn't find anything. I feel like I'm just lost in a crowd. And if you will come here as an exchange student, that's what you will feel probably for first several months, honestly. I need to be honest with you, because this is how you feel. Like, our schools in Europe are way smaller and they feel a little bit more friendly, I would say. Kind of more like, I don't even know. I don't have a good word to describe it. Like, our school was kind of like this nice girl in the neighborhood school. And schools here are huge, and like the crowd and how many different classes on how many different floors you are. Honestly, at the beginning, it's really terrifying. But now, after several months, like the size of the school feels really normal to me. Like, I don't even think anymore about how many people are in my school, because when you get your like circle of friends and when you have people like to hang out with, you don't even realize like how many people are around you. So about the size of the school, I would still say that I prefer smaller schools, but not as small as a Polish school. So I would say I would love to have something in between, like 1,000 students. I feel like that's a good number, like 3 times bigger than my Polish high school and 3 times smaller than my high school here. I feel like it would be perfect. Next question is really interesting, because I didn't even like thought about that someone in Poland can knew about this thing, but is that true that you can graduate American high school earlier? Yeah, that's true. You can graduate, I would say even a whole year earlier if you really try. So how does it work? In Polish high school, you need to do whole 4 years, and then you need to pass your last exams during your senior year, and like that's the end of school. You cannot make it any shorter. I don't think you can take any shortcuts. It's just not possible, because you need to get to this like last exam. In school in the United States, you can, because you choose your classes. So I explained it before, but what it means, basically it means that you need to have a certain number of credits to graduate. I think in Arizona it's like 21 or 23 or something, and one credit, it's a one whole year of certain class. So like, let's say, I don't know, I will take ceramics for a whole year, and it will count as a one credit for me. So technically, if you will take classes during summer, which is possible in most American high schools, or you will take online classes that you can take after school. So one of my sisters is doing history online, then you also get credit for it. And I know some people that graduated a year earlier, or they are making up credits to have less work in the senior year. And that's why some people in the senior year will only have like 3 classes per day, 4 classes per day, like my sister, because she did her credits online. So yeah, technically you can move on from American high school earlier than in 4 years. I mean, you can just graduate earlier than in 4 years. I still have over, I think, 12 topics that I want to talk about, but as I told you, I don't want to make this video super long, so now we'll do kind of like a fun list of things that I really like about American high school that I really don't like, and then things that I really like about Polish high school and things that I really don't like about Polish high school. And all the other topics I will leave for part 2 if you want me to record a part 2. So I think we'll start about the good things about American high school, then good things about Polish. We'll just go with the flow. Okay, first good thing about American high school, teachers. I already told you I really like the way that teachers approach the students. I like the way they teach, how they are well prepared, how they inform the student even 2 weeks before, like what assignments you need to do, when you should plan your work, and what we will do on each day. It's really, really helpful. They also stay in touch with the students all the time via like email and stuff like that. So definitely teachers. My sister just walked into my room, so after a little break. Anyway, I think I was talking about things that I like in American high school. Yeah. So the second thing is the school spirit. That's something that I have never seen before in a Polish high school. What it means that we have our school logo, school hoodies, school t-shirts, school everything, and everyone, we kind of have this like pride of being in this certain high school. And that's also something that you can see in American colleges. You probably know that like in many fast fashion shops, you can buy like, like a Harvard hoodie or like whatever, any other university hoodie. And that's kind of the same thing that works in American high school, that you will have like an assembly where like cheerleaders will dance, and you will have like all your school sports teams. And we every Friday we try to like wear duck pride things. Our school animal is a jaguar, so we have like a duck print. And I just feel this is such a neat and like nice idea to just kind of bring all the students together. Obviously it's not like I will enjoy every single event, because some of them are a little bit like cringy. But this is how teenagers feel about everything, so not be surprised. But what I wanted to say, I feel like the school spirit really makes you feel like you belong to this place, and that's definitely something that I would like to make or like create in my school when I will come back. So I will definitely push this idea of making our school like just give our school this like school spirit, and I hope it will work. I'm really excited for this. So that's the second thing that I really love about American high school. And the third last thing that I want to talk about is everyone kind of belongs somewhere, and I will explain you what I mean. So in my school we have so many different clubs and so many different sports and so many different just groups of people, even like religions, and I don't know, any like this is so hard to explain, but I got many questions. Is it true that like cheerleaders really behave like cheerleaders, or is it true that like you have weird band kids? I'm sorry, all of my band friends, I'm so sorry. You are a little bit weird. Yes, that's true. In American high school, you will have a lot of small or big groups that will just hang out together. Yes, some of the cheerleaders are mean, some of them are really nice, but this is kind of how it works. A lot of people belong to groups, and honestly, I believe that this is what will help you a lot if you are trying to make friends in American high school. Just join a group, join a band, join a club, join a sport. That's what I did. That's what helped me the most, and that's where I found the most wonderful people that I love with all my heart. So yeah, that's definitely something that we are missing in a high school in Poland, that we don't really share, and we are not really proud of our hobbies that much. We don't really have a lot of clubs, and even if we do, everything is kind of on like a smaller scale, and people are not so proud and excited about things, I would say. And sports, that's a big topic, and I'm even thinking about making a whole separate video about my sport, why I decided to join sport, why sport is so important in American high school, blah 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 blah, because sports is one of the most important things about American high school for sure. And now we will talk about things that I don't like about American high school. First thing, it's for sure how people behave. And that's mostly because I was raised in Catholic private schools where everyone is really, I don't know how to explain this. People just don't stick pencils in the ceiling. I mean, the thing is that with more relaxed and chilled teachers, comes also less discipline, and with less discipline, people are doing really weird and wild things. And yeah, you will probably see school fights in American high school. You will see really weird situations and people yelling at each other and doing really crazy things. And obviously we have a lot of like systems, and they will get like sent to the security, to the office, and then they will get suspended. Like, we have a lot of things in American high school that should prevent this, but overall people are behaving in such a way that I cannot even imagine would be possible in any Polish high school. Obviously I feel like situations like this happens, but the scale, it's way smaller. It's also because high schools in Poland are smaller. Oh my, I thought that I saw a coyote through a window, but that's just a dog without like a leash or something. Okay, anyway, so yeah, people's behavior, that's what I don't like about American high school for sure. The next thing that I wouldn't say I don't like, but I still have a hard time understanding, it's the grading system. Every single teacher has a completely different grading system in the United States. So you can go to a certain class and then switch to another, and everything will be completely different. So that's what sometimes makes me like angry, because it's just really hard to understand what every teacher expects from you. And in Polish school, you get grades for the same things. Like, teachers can do little changes in their grading system, but you have like one grading system for the whole school. Here, every single teacher kind of does their own thing. Some of the teachers, like, even if you get 100%, you need to do some extra work to get an A, so the highest grade. So it really depends on the teacher, and the grading system can be really confusing, but overall I would say that it's not so hard to get good grades. For sure I have better grades here than I have in Poland. So grading system, it's an interesting topic. And the third last thing that I don't like so much about American high school is how much we use our phones. And that's obviously not the teacher's fault, that's more the student's fault. It's also because in some classes, like let's say you will end your assignment faster and you just don't have anything else to do, or people will just not do their work, which also happens in Polish school. That's not like a thing that Americans don't want to study. In every school you have kids that are really motivated and people that just don't want to do their work. But like, everyone kind of allows us to use the phones, and I feel like it really distracts people. And I'm also using my phone way more than I would do in a Polish school. So although sometimes I feel like in a Polish school, on the other hand, people are way more too strict about the phone usage. So I feel like it should be somewhere probably in between. So I believe that we really shouldn't use our phones in class, although I still do it. And that's actually quite embarrassing. But that's the thing that I don't like about American high school so much. This like kind of like silent agreement that everyone uses their phones. So yeah, and now we'll talk a little bit more about things that I like in my Polish school and about things that I don't like so much in my Polish school, because if you want to like compare these two things together, I think it would be nice to talk about both. The thing that I like the most about Polish high school is probably the level of my classes. And I know that it may sound kind of weird, but in my high school in Poland, I actually need to take, I think, 12 or maybe 13 classes each year of high school, and that might seem as a lot because it is a lot, but I feel like I truly learn a lot. And comparing my knowledge to many high school students here, I would say that I'm definitely on a higher knowledge level, which doesn't sound really nice, but when it comes to like classes like chemistry, geography, languages, I feel like my knowledge is really higher. Obviously, it requires me to work harder in Polish high school for sure, but the overall like level of our knowledge, I would say, in Polish schools is higher. The second thing is kind of connected with the first one, because I feel like in Polish high school, we learn about things in more detailed way. What I mean by this is, in American high school, I feel like in all my classes I learned a lot of things that are like kind of like concepts, and I learned like in history, let's say, we learn more about like a concept, why something happened, what comes from this, but we don't really pay that much attention to like certain people and like what actually happened, like when, and who, and so okay, that my explanation doesn't really make any sense. But what I mean by this is just, I feel like in many classes the level is just higher and everything is more detailed. Like we'll study certain part of, I don't know, chemistry or something way longer, but it will be more detailed. And obviously it has pros and cons. I also believe that we don't need all of these things that we study in Polish school, but on the other hand, I believe that we should make some things, some parts of like the objectives more detailed in American high school. So again, I would like to have something in between. And third thing that I really like about Polish high school is that I stay with the same group of people every single day, and that I get to sit with my friends on every single of my classes. And this obviously has pros and cons, but overall I believe that it makes me feel more comfortable at school, that I have like my friend group always with me. And it also makes it way easier when you're like sick. You just can call one person and take all of the assignments that you need to do and all the notes from one person, instead of like trying to figure out what they actually did at school, because you don't know everyone in every class, if it makes sense. So definitely after this like half year in American high school, I would like to go back to the system when you spend your whole day in all the classes with the same group of people, which is not possible because I also want to choose my classes how I do in American high school. So I feel like to make me satisfied with a school, I would need to create a whole entire new system, and I don't think that's possible. Okay, we have talked about the positive sides of Polish high school, and now I would like to talk about some negative sides. And I know that my Polish fellow friends in the comments will be like, we don't have any positive sides, only negative. I mean, everyone thinks like this, and I can tell you that people in American high school, they also think that American high school is the worst creature that was ever created, and but me as a person that have studied in both countries, I can look on this like from like a different perspective, I would say, and obviously I will still like be like, oh, my high school in America could be way better, or my high school in Poland is almost a disaster. So this is how everyone kind of feels about school, and that's because schools are just structured in a certain way. But yeah, negative things in Polish high school. First thing, I would definitely say that they don't give us enough space to express ourselves. What I mean by this, I already said that we really miss sports teams, we really miss clubs, and just opportunities to like choose your classes, do things that you really want to do. I think like Polish high school is kind of like just producing the same people with just the same skills, the same interests. Like there's nothing special about each of the students, and that's something that definitely needs to be changed. I think United States high school, American high school, it's way better about celebrating this like small differences between people and just giving them chance to like really express themselves and do something that they wanted to do. I believe that American high school is way better about like expressing ourselves and just, you know, doing what you really want to do. The second thing I would say is the atmosphere. I feel like the atmosphere in American high school is way more relaxed. People are more just chill about things. I feel like I have a lot of fun during my classes. We talk a lot, we have a lot of group projects, we have a lot of like, you know, just kind of like talking with the teacher and asking them questions, stuff like that. I feel like in Polish high school, our atmosphere at school is like, it's really strict, and most of the time we just need to be like quiet and listen to the teacher. And it's not a bad thing because we stay like focused all the time and we learn a lot, but I feel like I would enjoy Polish high school way more if it would be just a better atmosphere, like a better just environment to kind of stay positive and just feel better at school, and not necessarily like you are in a place that you need to spend 8 hours a day and that's the worst place in the world. Obviously, I'm joking. And the third thing that I don't really like about my Polish high school is dress code. But I'm not a good person to talk about this because in my Polish school we have uniforms and my uniform looked like this. It's actually pretty cute. It's just really uncomfortable to wear a skirt all the time. But what I mean by this, so in my school we have a strict dress code, but as I told you, my school is different than other Polish schools. But overall in high schools, I think our dress code is quite strict, and I really wish again that we could just express ourselves more and be a little bit more relaxed about it, because sometimes I feel like Polish high schools is more like about, I don't know, like a business place. When everyone just tries to work all the time and never have breaks and fun. But it may be only my opinion. On the other hand, in the United States, dress code in most high school doesn't exist at all, and that's also a problem because, you know, some people will wear just pajamas and other weird things, but some people will really, you know, like wear a swimsuit or something to school, and that will also happen sometimes. So again, I would like to see something in between. So less strict dress code in Poland and more strict dress code here. And that's, I think, all that I wanted to say. At the end, obviously, a lot of people ask me, which high school do I like better? Which high school do I enjoy more? And stuff like that. For educational reasons, so like for my knowledge and just, you know, to learn, I would say that I enjoy Polish high school better. I feel like I learn more in Polish high school from like a strict, you know, textbook knowledge, but from like life experience and kind of like, you know, I don't know, like leadership skills and like social skills and stuff like that. I enjoy American high school way better. So again, it depends. You can look for everything from a different perspective. So still, and I also get a lot of questions. Would you prefer to graduate from American high school, or do you want to go back to Polish school, stuff like that? I don't have this choice. I'm here for only a year, so I'm trying to enjoy my time as good as I can. And also I'm actually planning to not graduate but to write American exams, maybe here, maybe when I will come home. So I'm trying to do double schools. And yeah, I think that's it for this video. Hopefully you learned about something interesting. If you have any thoughts or you just want to support me, please leave a nice comment. I hope that we will have a good discussion. And that's it for today. I think next video will probably be just a normal vlog. Hopefully I'll finally have a time to record a vlog, because I can tell you, vlogs takes a long time. Like, it takes a long time to record a vlog. So that's it for today. Thank you guys for watching. Take care of yourself. I will leave you my Instagram once again here. And yeah, see you next Wednesday. Or I don't even know if I post this on Wednesday. See you next week.